Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays offside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benny. Sills.
Hello and welcome to the latest Goals Eye View. I'm joined by Clive. I'm joined by Dom. I've called the video and the episode "Everybody Calm Down" or "Stay Calm, Everyone. It's all okay." And then we're probably just not going to be very calm for like the whole episode anyway. But yeah, very frustrating two results, Torquay. We all know that, and it's not acceptable actually. Some of the things that happen, which we'll go into. Let's all calm it down a little bit. I think some people have got a little bit too frustrated, in my opinion. We are still unbeaten, what, 13, 14 games? If a disaster is
14 games, I think,
14 league games. If a disaster is drawing two games away, which we should have won, obviously. Let's all calm down. It's not what I'm saying to everyone involved. Let's not throw away all the hard work, okay? We've still got a lot of football to play. Even though, yes, if you're going to win a league title, the draws are going to kill you, and those two probably will. But we're going to go into it. I thought a message of calm and unite ahead of Saturday. Let's not panic because there's a lot of injuries going on now
maturing
as well.
nicely, aren't you?
Yes.
Maturing so much, so.
As someone who's managed plenty of football manager seasons, we have these sort of things. It just happens, all right. Okay.
So I literally read out the last paragraph of my match report last night there.
I didn't read it.
Plagiarism, Clive.
I'll tell you what.
He reads anything on our site.
I don't read.
I was sitting in a hotel room in Slough, laptop open, writing a report last night.
Very David Brent.
You're living the dream.
I am living the
dream.
And over my hotel room Nescafe, I felt as though it could have gone one of two ways. I could either give him the sort of absolute slaughtering that Watton did in the interview afterwards. And I did pick out several deficiencies, which I'm sure we are going to talk about. But when I came to the end of it, I thought probably just what you said there, Sam. I think we need to keep a sense of proportion, and I think that let's stay together. Let's focus on the next game, because we can catastrophize all we like about Boreham Wood and Maidstone. We're not playing them at the moment. We're playing Hampton on Saturday, and we need to get 3 points from that game. And, we're still in a really good position, and we are in a position that, we'd have bitten people's hands off in August for. So that's the positive bit, and off we go.
Yes, and just enjoy things. It's fine. Anyway, right. We'll go back. St Albans away. Where do we start? Clive, do you want to start with St Albans away, actually, before we go into this one?
I can do, mate. Yeah. First thing was it was a really nice sort of Gull'S Eye View meet-up, really, because I had the chance to have a couple of pints before the game with Chris and Tom, and Alan Wills and Tom Beddoes and several other fans were there. We sort of took over the pub near the ground, really, and it was a lovely couple of hours, that. We got in there. It's the usual story. Actually, it's not always the case there, but it was unsegregated on Saturday. So we're standing behind the goal that Torquay are kicking into in the first half. But, of course, the first incident of any note was basically their only attack of the game, which yielded a goal. Guy gets slipped in. He hits it early. He hits it well. He hits it low. But James Hammond's got to save it, and he didn't. And the rest of the game then was us firstly trying to get back into it, and then getting ourselves into a position of total domination, playing really well second half, but just not being able to finish it off and get the win that performance probably deserved.
Yeah, Clive, Dom, anything to add?
We seem to have a thing about starting halves, don't we? It might be the first half we start slowly, or the second half we start slowly. We seem to have one thing or the other. That was a really simple goal to concede first half, wasn't it? The guy just ran between the defenders, and we're just a bit lethargic from what I could tell. I was only had it on the radio and watched the highlights, but you get a good feel from what people are saying. But then how we didn't score more in the second half. I mean, it was all there for us, wasn't it? Jordan Young's touches were great, from what I could tell. He was cutting in. There was at one point the commentator almost gave the goal and it went wide, I think. He said, "Oh," and it went just wide the post. We hit the bar, didn't we? And there was all sorts of chances. So I think that was as much unlucky as a bad day at the office, because we should beat them, and it was a draw.
Yeah,
but
we did enough to win the game.
Nine times out of 10, one of those chances probably goes in, and we win 2 or 3.
Well, one of them did, didn't they? One of them did. They got ruled out.
Yep. And we couldn't tell that from the highlights, can you? Because the angle's not right on the camera.
Well, I think I don't see any reason to think the linesman got it wrong. I mean, it's quite a it's quite a big decision to give, but also an obvious one. A ball's either swung out over the goal line from the corner, or it hasn't. He had the best view in the ground. He put the flag straight up. It's Occam's razor, really. It's the ball went out. Of course it went out. Why is he going to flag that otherwise?
Well, SofaScore made me feel annoyed because they said 2-1. I was on about, I was buzzing for 20 minutes and then it came up full time 1-1. You what? I thought we were winning 2-1 for the last 20. So fuming with that. But apart from that, no, it looked from the highlights. Jordan Young's just a different class at the moment, isn't he? He's just like running the games like he did last night as well. But just his touch and his efforts is fantastic. Yeah, I just feel like that goal we conceded, we haven't conceded goals like that this year. It's like a goal we've conceded the last few years, really. It was really disappointing. That's
not one I'd expect Dyer and Dreyer to concede, because it's just in between
it's very
the two defenders.
Goal
a
as
bit
well,
of communication and a bit of
move over. It's going to happen, but it's frustrating, isn't it? Yep. We should have won the game. We did more than enough to win the game, from what I can say. Obviously, it's always different when you're watching it, but it looked like we did more than enough, and it's very frustrating.
It feels like we've got a team that are good.
They didn't get out their own half, second half, Sam. It was a siege. It's frustrating. I don't think we were walking away thinking we've messed that up. I think sometimes you are just a little bit unlucky. I mean, that header from Cook, I've never seen anything like it. It's almost rolled along the crossbar, didn't it? It bounced 3 times on the top of the crossbar.
Mad.
It happens.
Yeah. I guess one thing I'd take from it is we probably haven't got enough players who are good in the penalty area. If you look at the goals we scored quite recently, it's either been Cody Cook or the central defenders have chipped in, and we're not getting much from the midfielders recently. We need others to chip in and just especially get goals in the area, because you can't always be counting for 25 yards. 30-yard purlers, can you? You've got to get your bread and butter goals.
Well, you think how many goals like Little and Asa Hull obviously scored in those sort of promotion battling teams of ours in the past. We used to get a lot of goals from the range. Lemon Evans, that sort of thing. I do agree with you on that one. It's just on its own. You just went, right, that's a really frustrating result. We actually did enough to win the game, though. Last night was a bit of an interesting one, really, wasn't it? It was. That was a frustrating result on the back of it, wasn't it? Where do we start? We sort of done this. What was your main thoughts on the pattern of the game?
I think the trouble is you draw at St Albans, suddenly there's a bit of pressure to win at Slough, isn't there? I asked them to start quickly, and of course they did this time, didn't they? I mean, the defender made a complete hash of the goal, didn't he? He completely miskicked it.
But those balls were quite difficult at times, they just that's where you test them.
Jordan Young had anticipated it well, finished lovely, gave us the goal up. It was all there for us again. I feel we had the majority of the possession, from what I could tell, Clive. We didn't have loads of chances, but we were good enough to maybe get 2-0 up, and then you're looking fairly comfortable. But when you don't get 2-0 up, you go in at half time. You do expect a team like Slough, who are pretty good at home, to get better, and they turned up and turned it up a bit second half, didn't they, Clive?
They did. I thought we started the second half brightly again. At the first 5 minutes of the second half, we were a bit unlucky, and we did play quite well. You're right. I think on the balance of that first sort of 20 minutes, even I think it wouldn't have been out of the way for us to be 2 or 3 up and the game dead, but. You've got to score goals, and we didn't.
We're just not that sort of team, are we? We're just not clinical enough to put these games to bed. And
it was
the case for a lot of the season.
That first, I'll say, I'll say 20 minutes. That first period of the game might be the best I've ever seen Torquay United play on a plastic pitch. Young was sublime. I thought he linked up well, actually, with Dylan Morgan as well. I thought he looked bright, and Musa was just bewildering them at times. It's some really good, neat sort of turns and back heels and, sort of fancy stuff, but actually really good. I mean, they struggled to get the ball off him all night until the moment of truth. But yeah, Slough were coming back into the game as the first half went on. They got 3 or 4 corners probably in the back end of that half. We then lose Jay Fulston, and I mean, having been lucky, as Paul Watson said last night, having been lucky with injuries all season, we seem to be getting a batch of them all at once now. So, by the end of the game, we were minus Fulston, we were minus Dyer. And I think those two, and one of them in particular, are a worry for us, because at some point we're going to have to talk about left back, aren't we?
Yeah. Now, we all are actually quite big fans of Matty Carson and what he's done and his talent, but he'll know more than anyone. But just the goals, let's start the first one. The job as a fullback is to stop a cross. It's not always, it's just a job. And for me, what baffled me was how does the positioning to get, it's just not in a position to stop. The way he sort of opened his body up, he didn't open it up enough to sort of stop the cross. And so they put a cross in, and it's not great in the centre either. It's really basic.
It doesn't clear it either, does he? He makes that hash of it as well. So it's 2 errors.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, it's out of nowhere, really. I know Slough had a good 10 minutes at the last.
It wasn't. It wasn't out of nowhere. I think they got better as the game went on.
Yeah, once they realised shaking. We weren't shaking.
Okay, I felt it was coming.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was on its own, but it was a bit of a sucker punch goal, really, and it's just so avoidable. Again, it's like the goal in Albans. It's so avoidable. There's like a chance clear in the middle, as you say, Dom, and we're pegged back to 1-1. Obviously, what happened next was we went to a 3-5-2. People say, is it injury for Kirk? I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I did listen to the interview. I can't quite remember now. But we've gone to 3-5-2.
Cook, didn't he? I couldn't that. I don't understand that one.
I think it went to 3-5-2, and then Musa and Young ended up front, basically. Because at first I thought Palmer was coming on up front and just like aim balls for him. But we went to 3-5-2 because obviously we were getting done in a 4 with Carson, and then that kind of took the pressure off that side of it a little bit for them. And then the game was just quite frustrating. Moose came close a couple of times, people getting frustrated. But I'm happy for him to have a go. She was great at once, but come close a couple of times. And then let's talk about the winner. Well, what should have been the winner, Dom? What should have been the winner? What would have been a lovely moment?
It's a good header by Ed Palmer, isn't it? I think Dre gets a little touch onto it, doesn't it?
That's why Palmer should be up front, you see. Ed's balls.
Dino at the back post finished it nicely, didn't it? They were, they're celebrating. I think probably Paul Watson's at that point going, right, to make sure you hold it, because they were all very excited.
What a guy. One moment that is, he's 39. And I'm not saying Ed Palmer should be a striker over Cody Cook. I'm just saying if it's where it is, desperation, stick him up there, honestly. Mark Ellis it. But and you're thinking 2-1, incredible. We're escaping from this.
Do you know what I was thinking at the time? So, full disclosure, I only saw the goal out the corner of my eye because I was on. Would you believe I was on Blue Sky duty last night? So I was trying to keep the 25 people on there updated at the bench. So I didn't see the goal very, very clearly, but it was in the 89th minute, and my thought then was, okay, there's 6 minutes of injury time, and I'm just getting Taunton vibes. I don't know if you remember that game last year.
Yeah,
big game. Moxie absolutely pivotal in that, and can we hang on for a really important win? And it looked as though that was going to happen. I think Seals has just done done a Sudoku there. That's fantastic. Apologies for the interruption. Where was I? Yeah, and actually we were hanging on and we were doing fine. Moxie came up with a decent clearance. I can't remember if that was before or after he scored, but you know, he certainly he did his job beautifully last night. And I don't know. Did you watch the game, Dom? Do you want to talk people through the?
No, I've seen the highlights. I mean,
Okay.
Paul One talks about it, but they should have kept the ball
live.
in the corner, shouldn't they?
I watched it live. We cleared the ball. It went out to Moose on the left hand side, and I think probably his thought process was, I'm going to generally make progress down the left, but I might be able to beat this bloke, and then we'll probably win 3-1.
Best form of defence is attack.
It can be.
Always goes well.
It can be. But I'm not going to slaughter him
neither am I.
Because I feel as though he had a very, very good game last night. Yes, he lost the ball, but losing
There's
the ball,
a lot of more mistakes afterwards.
Yeah, losing the ball 10 yards into the opponent's half isn't necessarily equivalent to throwing a goal away. Because the reason we conceded again was that yet again we've not stopped the cross. If you listen to the manager and Mike Edwards on the line, they basically shout two things at them. They shout three things at them all game. The first one is get to the ball. The second one is push up. And the third one is stop the cross. Stopping the cross just never happened. The defender, then Bayliss in the middle, is completely unmarked.
Mental.
And he actually makes a good contact with it, and he sends this sort of loopy thing, which James Hammond sort of watches like as if it's Halley's Comet or something, as if it's got nothing to do with the game.
It was like slow motion, wasn't it?
He's just a spectator, and well, the ball drops under the crossbar in the corner of the net. I don't think he could have got it, but I would have liked to see him try.
I think it's his mannerism, because I don't think he'll get that. But you probably want to keep a go, and dive or
futile dive next time, James, please, if you will.
But I don't think he'd have got it, Clyde. To be fair, I think the trouble was stopping the cross, and it's the stopping the cross and the marking.
And it's marking your bloody man in the middle again as well.
It's the last 30 seconds. Just switch on for that moment, and then the game's won, isn't it? That's all you need to do, and that's Paul was so infuriated by that, wasn't he? I think he's doing the post-match interview, and Matt Carson sort of walks past at the time he's talking about stopping the cross. He must have looked pretty sheepish at that point.
There isn't there's a photo of him with a sort of hunched-shouldered number 14 in the corner of the screen. Quite poignant, really.
Yeah, it's just one of them. But that's just right. So that's the game done. It's very frustrating.
It's game management, Sam, isn't it? You got to manage these games if you're going to win them. You can't. We're not good enough to thrash teams, are we? The majority of our games are close. They're within one goal. We've got to manage them out. So,
it's not like game management. It's not the bloody cross management and mark your bloody man in the middle management more to me.
That's all
basics. Basics we've done so all season. So are we starting to do it now? Anyway, it's happened. It's frustrating. It's 4 good points thrown away. Especially last night, actually. It's more 2. Because like St Albans, we were just very unlucky. I apply that under the unlucky draws. So last night it's just a waste. But right. Why are we all losing our heads? Well, not all of us, but why are people like, come on. First of all, I want to talk about the recruitment, actually, talking about things going forward. We are 1 or 2 strikers light now. We all know this, right? Now, that's a separate matter to having injuries and needing players. Football doesn't work like you get 2 defenders injured. And unless they're long term, and unless you've got an endless money, and unless there's players you can come in for a month, you don't just go and sign 2 players if you've got 2 injuries. Does that make sense? Like, I know it's all happened at once, but say a player's out for 2 weeks, you get him play on a month for a loan. It's just how it kind of is. We've got quite a sort of big squad there anyway. So that needing a striker and needing new players who've got injuries are 2 totally different things. Does that make sense?
I think the striker thing is frustrating people because we've had 1 striker for a few weeks now.
Yeah, and Ash went. And we know maybe Ash... we had to move on. But
It's kind of
yeah,
been going on for a little while now, so I
yeah,
think
yeah.
people are
No,
right
no,
to
I
be a
agree.
little bit frustrated by that.
Yeah, because we always had a really balanced squad, I think, and it's been such. I've
Yeah.
absolutely loved the recruitment. I'm so praising of the recruitment. It's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But yeah, and I know there's work. We all know there's work going on. We could tell from his interview, but yeah, it's a frustrating one, but it's not all because that. Does that make sense? We will get injuries, and as Clive said earlier, it's just all happened at once a bit. We've just got to hope at Folston, and that's not too serious going forward. But we've still got good players, still got good footballers on that bench. Look at got Hastanis and all that, and players like that. I know you started last, come on last, but like it's just we've got good footballers, and it's injuries going to happen. You can't just go out and get four players because we've had four injuries. That's the thing for
I
me.
like a sitting midfielder, I think, because Oscar Frelkeld, he'll have a good game on the Saturday, but he does struggle with 2 games in 4 days, I think, and
Was
that's
it an injury though? Was it? Well, I guess it was
yeah,
an
he got a
injury.
knock last night, I think,
Yeah, so
didn't he? So
that's not him struggling with games. That's just a knock. Does that make sense? Just
yeah, but
unlucky.
but he's
Yeah, but he was off the pace. He
his
Was
form
it? Okay.
diminishes by
gave
the
away
second
several
game
free kicks
Yeah,
generally.
that's fair
before
So
he could
enough.
get
you
there.
need somebody who can come in and do a job, I think.
Do that holding
But
role. Yeah, yeah,
ideally, I mean, we're always after more players, aren't we?
yeah,
There's always 2 players you want extra, aren't there? But
yeah.
if you're looking at the squad numbers, obviously it's definitely a striker, and
Mm,
well, maybe you're looking at a defender now. It depends on like, the injuries, and yeah, it's a bit of a
Thing is,
worry Dyer and Folston, isn't it? As you said, Clive, they are pretty much key players to what we do and our strengths as a team
mm,
defensively.
Falster is absolutely massive and
Mm.
integral at the moment.
yeah.
He's also quite difficult to replace. I think the problem with us sitting here saying you've got to sign players is that they are trying. I know for an
Mm.
absolute fact that they are trying. But what somebody said to me was, it's never done until it's done.
Mm,
You've never signed a player until the ink is on the contract. I think they may have anticipated that they would have news today, but we're sitting here at 7:30, and it hasn't happened. So
Mm.
probably something's gone awry, and it will
trying to
do.
get the video done.
It will do because footballers are human beings.
Yeah.
They've got agents, and
Mm,
quite honestly, an extra tenner a week from somebody else might be enough to persuade them that they don't want to come down to Torquay for the next
A
3
team closer to home, you don't know
just
what's
don't know, and you
going
and
on, do you?
you'll never find out the full stories of these things. But I'm not having a pop at you, Sam here, but it's
yeah.
not like a football manager, is it? You can't just
No.
press a button and sign a footballer. It
Yeah, I
don't
agree.
work.
I
There's a lot
agree.
of moving parts in these
And
things.
it's getting the right people
We'll be
in as well, isn't
trying.
it?
We know
Because
trying. So
we had Gary
Yeah.
Johnson got in random players, and they turn up. You want the right players coming in. You don't just sign people for the sake of it, because that
Exactly.
doesn't
Don't
help
just
the
want
squad at all.
numbers.
Yeah, we got people who you want to get people who can add something to the team and be,
Mm,
players you can count on. As you said, it's tough to find the right people. I think Cook's such a difficult person to replace, or he needs somebody of his ilk, and that there's not that many like him around. Experience, know-how, strong, gives you good fitness. He's got a lot of good attributes that are difficult to replicate, and really you just want to clone him, don't you? But
I
don't
think
think we've quite got that technology.
I just feel like it's also a football season. Things go wrong. You have bad results. Any team, you know, you have these peaks and bumps in the road and stuff like that. And it's just part of the experience. And it's just not us losing our minds when it has gone slightly wrong. We've still got
it,
2 points from it as well. It's not like we've lost both games either.
no. Here's a calming thought, right? Um, on Saturday, we play Hampton and Richmond. Okay, I actually drove through Hampton today wasn't quite on the way home, but it was on the way home from where I was today. It's a beautiful little place, as we know, isn't it? On the banks of the Thames, some lovely pubs, but their football team's not up to much, frankly. We won there comfortably in September, October. And actually, we should have enough players in the building to get 3 points on Saturday. So let's just let's just be calm about it. There are
And get
massive
behind the boys.
challenges. There are massive challenges ahead this season. But even if we were to fail to get anybody through the door before Saturday, we should still have enough to beat Hampton and Richmond at home. There'll be 3,500 Torquay fans there. You know, we have got a strong home record. And so, you know, for all the frustrations that we've had over the last few days, we're second in the division, you know, with what on paper, we know they're all tough games, Paul. We know they're all good teams, but you know, on paper, we should win on Saturday, and the world will seem a slightly better place at 5:30 if that is the case on Saturday night.
By the way, I understand some people will be like, "Oh, we can't just use we need to move past. We had a brand new squad. We still did have a brand new squad, and we're still doing very well. We're in a promotion battle. Hand on heart, right now, if it stays as it is, I do see us coming more where we are now, second or third. Just maybe not haven't quite got enough goals in different positions at the moment. But home playoffs, you know, we can still get. It's so Torquay. I feel like if we're going to get promoted, it's going to be the playoffs. It'll just be like the script. But the point I'm saying is, we're in the promotion battle. A year ago, I'm not even going for the whole while we're in administration, be grateful sub story. We all know that. Look at some of the players we were employing, right? Look at some of the players we were employing and on a much bigger wage bill and all that stuff as well, right? I'm not going to dig out names because I feel a bit harsh too, to be honest. But look at some of the players, especially the one that kept getting sent off and conceding easy goals every week, right? Look at the players we got this year. I don't know. I've narrowed it down a little bit there. But look at some of the footballers.
Centre half Sam, he did all right, didn't he?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, look at the footballers we've got now. It's a frustrating week for everyone involved. But it's not as fans. Just if any players, staff, whatever, are watching, let's not lose your heads in, feel the pressure, and start, you know, making silly, rash things in games in the weekends. Just enjoy it. We're still doing well. Bit of a bump in the road. Keep going. Keep smiling.
We've got a good manager who's trying to build a new mentality and ethos for the club, isn't he? He's got a fairly inexperienced squad. They're learning, you know, and stuff like that.
Learn together.
You know, it's all a learning curve for those guys, isn't it? Which bodes well. I think the pressure's just on, isn't it? We feel like
it's not. The pressure's on Boreham Wood. Pressure's on Boreham Wood.
It's that feeling. It's that feeling we've got a good chance for the title, isn't it? That's what. What's making people
and we do. We should be there.
Very worried if we lose, you know, some points here or there. So
yeah, but I think just as Porter said, couple points behind, 2 games to go.
We've got a chance.
All the pressure on them. So we just I'd say now, the aim is just give ourselves a chance rest season, enjoy it, and hit the end of season on as good form as possible.
Got like 900 fans breathing down their neck, haven't they? I mean, the pressure must be enormous. Must be huge. Yeah, exactly. Do you know 50-50 jackpot was last night?
What?
£76.
Nice. Well,
there we go. £7 there last night. I mean, well, it wouldn't have paid for my travel costs, quite honestly. I could have won the 50-50 and still been out of pocket last night.
Won't be the case.
It's the memories. It's the memories you're getting, Clive.
Yeah, it's the buzz. Predictions: 2-0 Torquay. Me, Dom.
I just said a win will make everything feel better. I'll go for 2-2.
Yeah.
Clive.
All right.
Let's have a scrappy 2-1 with a winner off Hayfield's backside. I say
2-2 because I'm worried about our defence now. Let's be honest.
It's fine. They're all learning.
I worry about these things.
Yeah. Well, we are. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. And obviously, I was calling the video "Calm down, everyone" doesn't mean that no one's allowed to get angry about anything these days because we've got our club safe. That is definitely what we're saying.
It's all right to be disappointed. We can always be disappointed. It's cool.
Let's not blow out of context. Is what I'm saying. You know. But there we are. We haven't had much to moan about for a very long time as Torquay fans, and so it just feels a bit of a no release for everyone again, I guess. But if being unbeaten in 14 games that shows how nice it's been for a while. So there we are. Anyway, thank you for watching. And we'll see you next week.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays on side, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells!